Cool. Happy and wonderful afternoon for everyone. My name is Felix. I'm a Java developer working with CXC technologies in fintech services for my multiple years. Java fan, love TypeScript, lately also more and more cloud and all around. And I want to start with thanking the organizers of the Scaling with Java meetup, Sasha, Eric, and Derek, and of course our AWS, our hosts, for this beautiful opportunity, and Lens and partners. So today's agenda is coding harder, not smarter, with GitHub Copilot, right? So so this is gonna be cut off. So I would just want to start with a good intro, and I will immediately jump into example of how the life was for me before the Copilot a little bit. So at first I want to start with the excitement, right? When it came out, and I probably was a bit of a late adopter, like after a year. So I was so excited when I kind of understood what's that, the chat GPTs and all of those AI related things. But Copilot is literally like was something which I couldn't stop playing, and I enjoyed it. And since then, I never looked back. So yeah, just kind of for fun, I was same excited when the Spring Boot came out. Actually, I was like, I don't need to write an XML, patch something, type web XML, something with GSPs, and I was like, no way! It just was so dynamic and smooth. Yeah, and the second time I was similarly excited when I bought a Steam Mop, actually, that I don't need to use my hands anymore for tile floors. So literally, let's look back to how the life was before the GitHub Copilot, right? So I look at it from the eyes of the senior engineer for multiple years and seen multiple big projects, and with the eyes of product, the business. So what we have is a lot of code, legacy, manual boilerplates a lot. So that people have to do lombooks. Projects are almost always half-baked because too much manual work, and sometimes not enough even time for unit testing. Usually, there's sprint planning for like 100 points. We deliver only 50. And then when the end of sprint, you always feel you have to do more, you can do more. Then, there always, as a senior, you want to apply so many principles. Logging, very well done. Tracing, exception handling, and so many others. But you're just out of time because the sprint is over, the feature delivery is over, and then you can say half heart full. You said that's all right, we can move on, and I'll fix it all in the next project, or just a technical debt. So literally, I felt there was like a strong kind of unmanageable, uncontrollable situation, which was just a complete mess related to big amounts of codes and legacies and everything. And then boom, here we are. The GitHub Copilot comes out, and now it helps us to do so many things. So what it does, if we ask it does the code completion to us. Here we are. So you type in the task or comment of what do you want, and then it immediately pops out you the solution. So you complete everything faster and with few errors. It generates you the code if you suggest it, like what do you want, and then it uses machine learning underneath and everything. It suggests you the code, which means you already have something you can say, hey, improve it, apply the best practices and everything, right? So literally it's enhanced coding assistance, code generation, collaboration, and coding support, right? So let's now look at how does it work on the background, right? So literally, GitHub Copilot is a service which in the background is an OpenAI model, LLM, which is trained on the GitHub data and the public code and text on the internet, right? So if you think of an LLM, I usually try to give the examples which make me understand things easily. Example given, we are all LLMs. but given we train on the data of the place we live, right? When the first time we go in, we learn where is the garage, where are the shelves, where is the kitchen, where is the everything, where are the clothes rack, and etc. And the next time when we have a question, like where is the screwdrivers, we know exactly that is in the left side of the garage in the shelf 2 or somewhere, or something else. So this is an example of how you can feel what LLM is and how it is trained on the data. It's similar for Copilot, but it's just a bit of much more different scales and sizes. So what it does is it provides we provided the context from our editor, and then based on that, it suggests you all the things we discussed. So then what the GitHub Copilot doesn't do for us, right? It doesn't compile the code. Don't expect that. It doesn't build a project. It doesn't write a code for you. Give suggestions, right? And you accept it. And it doesn't create a project for you. So these kind of the summaries of why's, how it was, and what's the GitHub Copilot is. So now let's move on a little bit to numbers and feedbacks, right? So how are we feeling about the numbers and feedbacks? So I actually provided a lot of resources in my presentation repository, and ideally if you can open it in Google and follow it, you get a lot of videos to really enjoy a good evening or even two, right? So why do we need it? First of all, why do we need numbers and feedbacks? Because this is, I think, a revolutionary tool, and when we say that, we have to justify, right? So the first question I had is, how do we get those numbers? Like, I've been reading things and the feedbacks were like, oh, there were like this much many commits done with the help of Copilot, or it was like 50% or 40%. I was like, how do we know that? So I went through some articles which I actually supplied. There are multiple techniques to hook up to which commits were generated with the help of Copilot, like tagging, hashtagging, commenting, But actually the best answers which I liked, and I think we all kind of would accept, is that organization which is using that GitHub Copilot has an access to APIs and logs, when there is an ability to correlate the usage data with commits, right? And then it would be visible from the usage data which part of the commits are very close to that used data. And that would give you the specific percentage of how much GitHub Copilot helped in every commit, right? And then how then these numbers and feedbacks were generated is that there are big businesses, and I'll be touching one, which is Accenture, which put all the number feedbacks in public. And the main principles are that put two streams in flow. One will be heavily using Copilot, the other one is not. And then after 3-6 months, they would summarize it. And here are some numbers. So 35% of the code generated by Copilot was accepted, 50% more pull requests, 50% more builds, more fulfilled people, more happier, higher merge rate, and all of this around the positivity for developers. Here are the links which I suggest you to go through. And the most interesting one, which even I am surprised to read and kind of scientifically understand what are we talking about, is this KDE Copilot kind of metrics. So KDE is knowledge discovery efficiency. So this is exactly what Copilot does, right? Before you start the project, right, you need use in this status, right? You need to do steps, or you need to learn this amount of knowledge, right? So what you do is to get it, you do this knowledge discovery processes, right? Then after you obtain this knowledge, you build a tangible output, plus you get this knowledge discovered. So this is the most kind of time consuming, I would say energy consuming, and similar process which Copilot literally took it on himself. So I like this KEDA article, and I strongly suggest people to read it, including the other 4 which are around the effectivity, right? So the videos from Accenture is also in the links. So another most important, I would say, part of the articles is this one, which is yeah, this is the one. Okay, so GitHub done its own kind of scientific researches too with other businesses, and they provide a lot of numbers together. So this is it: 55% faster coding task completion, quality improvement across 8 dimensions, readability, error-free, maintainability, and 50% faster time to merge, right? So when we talk about code quality, this is the one thing which I really always kind of big fan of. Code readability for me is so important, but I had so much little notice of this thing in my career that I was like missing it so badly. So what's quality look like? Readable, reusable, concise, maintainable, resilient. So Copilot just does it all related to it, and just helps you out with that. So this is kind of across the numbers and the feedbacks. And just to summarize, Accenture was just a business with 120k developers, was about to make the Copilot mandatory in the business. It was like 3 or 4 months ago video. So fingers crossed, they are already there. Just pausing it.